Logan, prediction time. Florida State is 2-0. Florida State is a 2.5-point favorite over Louisville. It's go time.
It is go time. It is definitely go time, and it's go time to figure out if Florida State, from earlier in the show we talked about this, maturity and discipline, if that discipline can continue. They started off good there. They've done a good job there, but can it continue, though? Can it actually hold on and say, hey, yeah, we're on the road. We can come away with a win. And I think Florida State, they've had the crowd noise bumping all throughout the week. They had it during the bye week. It's just been nonstop since LSU week. I'm not too worried on that front there on Florida State's side, but discipline on the field is something that I am going to be watching. They're going to try to be loud, and it's Louisville. Not a lot of fans do. A lot of fans don't like Florida State. They've taken their players, beat them, basketball, a lot of things that Louisville fans don't like. But one thing that they do like is that they're undefeated under Scott Satterfield against Mike Norvell. I think on Friday night, Mike Norvell is going to go ahead and end that. I think Florida State wins this 31-24. You win like that, you get ranked. I just think Florida State, this is a you should win game, and it's gotten to the point now for me where I said that a lot last year and years prior, but something has hit me, at least from now being able to watch these practices, to be like, okay, yeah, this looks good. And I do like what Florida State has. And I also think that there's so many other things, too, that Florida State hasn't really fully introduced yet, if that makes any sense. I mean, there's a few things that I think could be shown to us on Friday night, or it's not going to be shown against Boston College. It's probably going to be shown against Louisville that we just haven't seen yet, but I am sure excited to see because I think Florida State has been able to be successful on that front. We did like the little trickery that Mike Norvell did against LSU there, resulting in a touchdown. That was successful. I think there's still some things and maybe even some talent out there that we haven't really fully seen at the 100% level yet.
First of all, I appreciate Mark giving me some love and telling you to look at my picks because I actually have a winning record after 2 weeks. So take a look at my picks because that winning record probably won't last. I would have loved UCF to have helped us out and beaten Louisville and taken away their emotions, taking away their confidence heading into this game. I would have loved to have played Louisville at 0-2 instead of 2-0. I'm a lot more confident because with all due respect to Louisville, with all due respect to the Cardinal Nation, I'm not as afraid of playing at Louisville in front of their crowd after just playing off a loud Superdome crowd against LSU. And Logan can attest to that. It was loud in New Orleans a couple of weeks ago. So that doesn't bother me as much. What bothers me is playing down to the level of our competition. I did pick us to lose to Louisville in the preseason. I said this is going to be one of the games that we would lose and look at the end of the year and go, how did we lose to Louisville? But I'm going to put loyalty for my alma mater over preseason predictions. I'm going to say Florida State 31, Louisville 17. I think Florida State comes out and looks convincing. I think Florida State comes out early on. I just have a funny feeling like Florida State has turned the corner for the moment. Now, it could all falter. Florida State could be 4-0 entering October and lose 3 straight to Wake Forest, NC State, and Clemson. But for right now, I think the corner has been turned. So I'm going to say 31-17 Florida State.
My typical spiel at this point is obviously go to Patreon, get my picks there. But I'm going to make an exception on this Friday night. And I think we're all pretty much on the same page. I like Florida State's defense. I think the quarterbacking duel is fairly even, but I have no issue with Logan saying that he'd rather have Jordan Travis because I think that's justified. But I think it's a fairly interesting quarterback. 2 dual threat guys, and Jordan Travis is obviously much improved. Malik Cunningham is pretty much similar to the player he's been for the last few years, but I just think Florida State's defense is going to win this game, and your finals right there, 26-20.
I like that. And Louisville, has only scored 20? How many points this year so far? 27?
27.
27 points. I don't think you can keep. I mean, Louisville's gonna have to score. I mean, they're gonna have to score quite a bit, and Florida State has done a good job. If you think about it, going back real quick to LSU game, I mean,
Yep.
bad kicking. I mean, you have the off the sides kick in there that Ryan Fitzgerald had, already giving some extra room there for Jaden Daniels, and LSU and Brian Kelly weren't able to be that successful with it. One of those touchdown drives being a horrendous PI call on Jamie Robinson there, and then another penalty just led them down the field, able to score. This Florida State defense, everybody gives Adam Fuller a hard time, but so far so good in my opinion. I know.
I'm one of
those. And I was too. But I'm just, the progression is good and the improvements have been made.
Hopefully next week we're talking about the 3-0 Florida State Seminoles, something they haven't done since 2015.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of question marks too. Listening to some of the LSU Louisville podcast this week, the fan base is kind of starting to get a little itchy there with Satterfield. This is a big time game for him. Big time game, because if you lose this game, you're going to lose quite a bit of that fan base up in Louisville. So big time game, and they also have some kind of streak going on up there with recruiting. So a lot is on the line there for Louisville too.
Yeah, that's the one positive thing that they've got going. He hit the ground running, going 8-5 after a 2-10 Bobby Petrino debacle into that tenure, but he's leveled off. They've had 2 consecutive losing seasons, but yeah, the NIL and the recruiting saving him right now. But man, if they start 0-2 in the ACC without having seen Clemson or NC State, they're buried. They're not winning the division. So yeah, Satterfield, big game for him.